Hello everyone, welcome back to Danganronpa! Mods on Hat in Time. I think this is just the last one. If there is another one coming, then it hasn't come out yet. I think this is actually just the final trial. And this is the only one so far with the disclaimer at the top. So, I guess there's going to be some heavy subject matter in this. So, warning. Let's continue. If the subjects of suicide and hanging bother you, you will likely hate this trial. Yeah, okay. So some people probably shouldn't watch this episode. A few scenes added before the trial to add some context. You should watch them at least once. Okay, let's watch the scenes. Scene 1 starting up.
I think we're both due for a nice, relaxing shower.
Oh, voice acting.
You've been in here a lot, boss. Something on your mind?
There was a voice acting in the other ones, right? Unless there was, and I was constantly talking over it.
Well, we are.
I don't think there was, though.
Here, and that's stressing me out.
Fair.
Biolab, it just blew up. Now it's full of smoke and fire and
All right, penguins are in the back.
grooves.
We heard you, darling. We'll steer clear of the lab.
Thanks.
Oh, look, that's the conductor.
Well, good.
Okay. Okay.
Hey, the biolab exploded. Steer clear of it, okay? Oh boy, you look horrible. Nice to see you too, Peckneck. I'm gonna ask you again. I don't know anything about you freezing to death in my timeline. We've been over this.
Okay.
And I know you're full of crap.
We're almost ready for lunch. Cooking cat, aren't omelets supposed to be breakfast food? Is it for a special occasion? Well, no, but I figured why not? Everyone's been really down lately, so I wanted to try spicing things up in a small way.
That's nice. You're not gonna
Alright,
complain.
who's eating the fridge already?
Exactly.
I feel like we should have another plate of those Alpine eggs, you know? Is that safe? They're kind of explosive.
Yeah, it's festive. Festive explosions.
It's safe if you know how to prepare it properly.
Then it's not going to be a fatal wound on its own.
I'll be right back, okay?
Okay.
We're up a few floors, so I might be a bit. Oh, I can't wait.
A few minutes later, near the end of an intense game of Old Maid, Kid looks upset. I think she's losing.
Well, that killed some time.
It sure did. I'm sure it's not the last thing that'll be killed in this trial. Oi. The match lasted a good 10 minutes.
Shouldn't she have gotten back by now? We should check on her. Yeah.
They all get up to head for the biolab, but they run into the science owl. Oof. Ow.
Sorry about that. Hey, you're usually in the biolab, right?
Yeah, but I wouldn't go in there right now.
Why is that?
Well, it blew up while I was in it. I've been running around trying to tell everyone to steer clear of it.
I'll rush to the biolab.
What happened here?
The door wasn't damaged before, just the back of the lab. What happened?
I'm going in first. Wait here a second.
We should go in one at a time in case it really is a murder.
Can't disagree with that. First, I waited a little and opened the door to see what was on the other side. The fog got through my clothes a bit. It stinks, but it's tolerable. What I saw on the opposite side, I only half expected. Oh no. Oh no. There's a bloody hat, and it looks like Sepkonite is hanging there. Ugh. I had a bad feeling she was dead, but him? I didn't expect him to be here too. Oh, is he here, hanging from a noose above? He didn't try to strangle? I hate both options. I hate this feeling.
A body has been discovered in the biolab.
Okay, sure
do
has.
I really want to go in that lab?
We gotta look for clues ASAP. The trial will be ready before long. These are the incident played out as far as we know. Kun and the medium were found in the 4th floor lab area. Mustache Girl and the Nomad didn't handle it very great. The lab had been fogged up by purple/pink mist at the time. There's also Hat Kid's Adventures outside of court, which I recommend you look at since it's part of the plot, but it is optional in case you already saw it. Also, there's cool new art. Cool. Want to see what she's up to? Okay, yes. Let's see what she's up to. Metro is surprisingly stable. You expected random freezing, all things considered. She looks more grown up. And so does Timmy, for that matter. Oi. Okay. I guess a lot of time has passed or something.
I don't think I've ever been here before. That cooking cat was in the killing game, right? Oh, I hope she'll be okay.
What's he pointing at? Gas, gas. I finally caught up with you guys. Gas.
Wait,
Huh.
I thought she was in the killing game thing.
Yeah, about that. I kinda died.
That explains that. So who's the killer this time?
No idea. I passed out from smoke and came to in Mafia Town. While I'm on the subject, how did the boss of Mafia get his old body back?
Huh? Oh, Mafia Town wasn't cleared by Timmy until after he died, so he must have gotten rewritten. Which version are we dealing with?
I'm not sure I follow. Either way, he set sail around the time I got into Mafia Town.
Do you feel like everything is about to fall apart for all the wrong reasons? What would be the right reasons for everything to fall apart?
I'm not sure how that would go.
Translation?
Yakuza or Mafia, who would win?
Yakuza. They're serious, swift, and lethal. Mafia are just jerks.
Best to stay clear from the accuser if possible. If you get on their bad side,
Touch that little girl. I don't want her getting away this time.
they'll try to kill us. It's the only thing I don't like about the Metro.
You know, I don't usually approve of another group of criminals trying to muscle in on my territory.
I have no interest in stealing your territory. I'm after the little girl and her timepieces.
Perplexing. But we both have the same target, it seems, so I think we can make an arrangement.
Okay, so I think we can safely assume that Mustache Girl, the Nomad, and Mustache Girl, Vogue Kid, and the Nomad had nothing to do with either murder because they were sitting there waiting for Cooking Cat to return, and they had no idea about the biolab or anything going on in there. So those three are almost definitely safe. In theory, Cooking Cat and the Minion, one of them could have killed the other one. Or one of those could have just been like a mysterious death. Like, oh, the fog killed Cooking Cat. If the fog killed Cooking Cat and the owl is responsible for the fog, would the owl become the Blackened? Right? If it was his fog that killed Cooking Cat? even if it wasn't on purpose? Because that's what happened with Timmy. He tripped over the Mafia boss. And he was then the Blackened. The Minion could have killed himself, right? And I think it's safe to assume that the fog is what killed Cooking Cat. Okay, so yeah, I think the fog knocked Cooking Cat out, maybe did her in completely, and then the meat-eater plants ate her body. I think that's why all that was there was a bloody hat. So I don't think anyone killed Cooking Cat. Unless that counts as the owl killing her, because the fog was his fault. I feel like Penguin, Conductor, and DJ Grooves have nothing to do with anything. Which is odd. But one idea I'm working with is that Cooking Cat killed the Minion, and then herself was killed by the fog, which I think would make the owl the unintended Blackened, because he didn't mean to kill anyone, but I think it would count as him killing the cat, Cooking Cat. But then why would the BDA go off with only 2 people? There could be some weird thing with, like, as the Minion was dying, he saw Cooking Cat succumb to the fog. But then the Cooking Cat would have died first, which would make the owl still the guilty party in that case. But that seems like a weird thing for it to be doing. Who was the third person who saw it? I don't... without that piece of information, there's... I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Okay. I'm going to go with the owl is the blackened. I think he accidentally killed Cooking Cat with his fog. I think he's the blackened. As we go forward, once we figure out who that third person is that saw the body, then I may have to change my mind. But right now, I think it was the owl. Let's do this thing! Ready? Great.
You all know the drill, so get on it.
Now, what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to turn off the voices. Not because I don't like them. They're actually fine. But turn the voices off. Not because I don't like them, but because I'll just be sitting here. Just sitting here. Not doing anything. Not saying anything. And that wouldn't be good. I need to take a part in this video. You all know the drill, so get on it. Why another double murder? Seriously, what's wrong with you people? She was the only one out of all you idiots that was tolerable. Okay, the Nomad too, even though they're boring, but still. I'm not boring. Why is the cause of death listed as unknown? It's up to my discretion as I have to balance the trial. If I told you what killed them, it'd be too easy to figure it out. I hate you! Okay. How do we know who died first? The new rule states that if 2 murders happen, only the first killer gets blackened. That would have been nice to know 2 weeks ago when 2 people died at once. So, oh, I have to get into his voice. Picnic! Oh yeah, picnic! So where was everyone at 12:30 today? I was in the rec room at the time. I think that's when DJ Picnic showed up. It was a little bit after the owl warned me about the biolab, about the lab blowing up. I guess I can use the judicial system to make him stop calling me that. I'm sick of hearing it. Either way, my bodyguard was with me too. Have you tried contracts yet? You were with the Nomad and Mustache Girl in the kitchen, waiting for Cooking Cat to come back. And I was running around trying to warn everyone about what happened in the biolab the entire time. Wait a minute. What? Does everyone here have a solid alibi? Okay, don't panic. We just have to think about this a bit differently. Okay, how about the BDA? We went in one at a time, but only 2 of us activated it this time. Who else saw? Seriously? Is this an accomplice thing? We need 3 people for a BDA! You doubt it's an accomplice thing. If all 3 of us have solid alibis for where we were at the time, then the death was... I have 2 theories. 1, the killer was one of the 2 victims. Or 2, it was a trap, possibly remote activated. Like a C4? What the heck is C4? It's an explosive! It's like modeling clay, but it blows up. That's exactly, yes. That's the perfect explanation of C4. You want it because that sounds cool. It does, yes. Something like that could definitely kill someone after being planted on them in specific locations. Remember, this is a killing game and don't want the exploding clay anymore. I don't think remote activated bombs are the case. I don't think the gift shop has anything like that. Anyone able to confirm it? There weren't. No, that'd be too easy. Well, the second theory isn't completely sunk yet. We still don't know the cause of death, and the death traps aren't impossible to make. All that needed to be done was lure a victim into the trap. The killer could have set up a trap and lured them to it. That could have happened in your room. Oh, excuse me. That could have happened in any room. So why the biolab? There's not a whole lot of people going in and out of it, so to give them plenty of setup time. What kind of death trap are we talking about here? It'd be easy to figure that out if the file told us what the cause of death was. If something was rigged in the lab, then it almost got me. I barely got out of there before the smoke hit me. How did we hear about it from the first floor, though? Is everything in the building soundproof? It wouldn't surprise me. Someone good with technology would be suited to rig the machines in there. I need to do this. What should I do? Oops, I accidentally clicked on something. Purple fog? Is that all you got? That's the worst counter argument I've heard yet! For the love of... Oh, Lord of the Man, because Cooking Cat went in there to get the eggs. Okay, I see. I thought it had to do with, like, oh, the fog killed them! No, it had to do with the eggs. No, she wasn't lured into the trap. She went off to get the giant eggs that are stored there. The only way Theory 2 is plausible is if it was rigged and set it to explode on a timer. But you'd have to be tech savvy and spend some time figuring it out. By that logic, it could be anyone. Well, maybe not the Nomad. I'm not sure if the Alps had phones or radios or technology in general. So tell me then. There's two bodies. Why is the minion dead too? He wasn't separate from everyone else. Good point. What the heck is the point of the double murder anyway? Killing more just adds more evidence. It's stupid to do that. Perhaps one was a silenced witness to the demise of the other. Or silenced after seeing the murder, eh? I have a nagging suspicion against that theory. To be there in person to silence the witness. And what would an eyewitness report do in the case of a remote trap anyway? That's right. If it wasn't done in person, then nobody had any way of making a remote activated bomb. Checkpoint! I got a checkpoint, darling. So we're assuming that someone made a homemade bomb, correct? Well, it's very unlikely. It's not impossible. They'd just have to make it in secret in their own room after taking some tools and parts from the lab or even elsewhere. Okay, next statement. Valid argument. Very valid argument. But what's your proof that that's what happened? Yao said himself that others have gone into the lab for things in the closet, yes? Perhaps I'm being presumptuous, but I think it's a possibility we can't deny. True, but how can we be certain? So far, it's just a hypothesis. Because of the fact that the owl, in this particular circumstance, makes the least sense now as the suspect. After all, surviving that instance and having that solid of an alibi means he was likely someone else. And that someone else could have arranged something to make that plan work. Next statement. It's not adding up. Can you say all that again? I need you to clarify something. I'll count. Oh, because he was the only one going in there. Right. Right? That's exactly why the argument doesn't work. The plan failed. It doesn't matter who attempted the murder because they failed miserably at killing their own target. Okay, that's why. Okay. This has been going pretty much nowhere for a while now. Maybe you should address what should probably be the most obvious answer that doesn't involve murder. The eggs explode! Yep, that makes sense. Didn't you guys already know that? No, I did not know that. No, I did not. That is horrible. Ah! You do know where baby birds come from, right? This is packed up. If it makes you feel less disturbed, it's actually not a bird egg. It's a shroom egg. It's a shroom egg, which is vegan. Okay? How does that make it any better? It's still eggs! Shrooms are plants from the subcon forest. Not sure why they're eggs they're eggs now, though. There's no shrooms or turnip-looking subcon enemies that run towards you and blow up if you get too close. The enemy was reworked into the eggs from the birdhouse that do the exact same thing. The turnip model is still inside the eggs if you use the camera badge to peek at them. Ooh, that's interesting. I did not know that. That still ain't right. You have so many questions right now, and most of them are about the fine lines of cannibalism. So the explosion was caused by shrooms, actually, yeah. That's actually very possible. There were non-eggs in some of the tubes, so maybe one became active after a certain point. You need to figure out whether or not this is an accident or a murder. Stature likely would make an accident into a trial if he felt like it. So I think it's possible. But nobody here went into the biolab. If nobody here went into the biolab, then that means that it was an accident. Why did she go in? Surely the eggs weren't that important. Are the eggs the cause of death? The air just changed. What's going on? What is going on? The peck is a Yalmart. Yalmart, yes. What was it? The fog? Those are the two biggest candidates. But there are a lot of other plants in there. Maybe one of the plants got them? There are a lot of options. Dang it, why did the Snatchers conceal that important info? One of these sounds plausible, but who should I try supporting? There we go. Yes. Okay, nobody else went in. Because of the minion. Because of his actions. That's true, nobody that's currently here went into the biolab. But there is someone who went in there besides Cooking Cat. Wait, who are you talking about? What do you think? We may not know how Cooking Cat died yet, but we definitely know that he was there. But he's been murdered too. If he did kill Cooking Cat, or even vice versa. That's a load and you know it! But that would mean either of them could be blackened. But either died at the end anyway. You did notice the noose, right? A rope would work as a weapon for strangulation. Yeah, I thought so too. But that's not it. Wanna know why? Why is the rope not a murder weapon? Rope is undamaged. It was undamaged! Rope is pretty sturdy, darling. It wouldn't be a very good rope otherwise. Pretty sure choking the life out of someone would still fray the rope at least. Guess what? It didn't look like it was used to strangle someone. Trust me, I ruined a lot of mafia ties doing that. Darling, you need to learn how to chill out! Wait a minute. That would imply... suicide. Think the traitor committed suicide? After all the crap they've helped Snatcher put us through? That expression. You think Mustache Girl called it? The Subconite actually killed himself. He... killed himself? But... feeling bad for him, aren't you? I'm not sure how I'm supposed to feel about this. On one hand, he's helping Snatcher make us suffer, but on the other hand... suicide. Honestly, it's hard to feel bad for him after everything he did to us. He doesn't even tell us who the other traitors are. All he did was stay silent. Then he had the nerve to get in our way of trying to cope by separating us and making us easier to kill. He didn't tell us. It implied he knew and couldn't say, right? He was with us? Snatcher, he did something, didn't he? Or... this feels like nothing... this feels nothing like the movies, it's so much worse. Was it because he was hated and alone? You end up on him. It's our fault, wasn't it? You're all seriously feeling pity for that traitor? You all know he's evil, right? Can't be that black and white. If he intended to make us suffer, then why did this happen? The little jerk is gone for good. Now the world is a little less awful. We can breathe easier knowing the punk won't interfere with our lives anymore. I'm not sure. Snatcher's still here. And I'm not leaving anytime soon. But why would he commit suicide if things were going well for the Snatcher's plans? He never left us alone, constantly getting our way and inserting himself where he didn't belong. He was a very bad person. As rude and harsh as it sounds, I feel like he would have tried killing someone eventually. I have my doubts about that. It doesn't really answer the question. But why? Why did this happen? I never left us alone. No, okay, I accidentally clicked on the right thing. Retaliation. Okay. No, he did start leaving us alone. A couple days ago, he just stopped. Hey, you just saw him earlier in the spa when the owl warned you about the lab, right? How was he? Unsettlingly quiet. I think he just sat on one of the benches near the entrance. He didn't really say anything, though. Actually, he was in the spa a lot recently. I think he wasn't... maybe... you don't think he wasn't a scumbag deep down? Trust me, some people just stink and aren't redeemable. Is Snatcher redeemable just because, poor Prince Charming got cursed, so it's not his fault he's murdering hundreds of people for entertainment? Please tell me you don't actually believe this crap, because if you do, I want to know who hurt you and needs a beating. Hey, I can be quite charming despite my curse. Go to Hack! Yes, go straight to Hack! That piece of trash isn't redeemable. He helped keep us locked in here. He also tried separating us multiple times to make us easier to kill. Like I'd ever split from DJ groups in a situation like this. You gotta stick close to those who trust. Someone like that can't be trusted. It's hard to find people you know who are sane. Regardless of that, he's dead, and we still need to figure out if it was a well-prepared murder with suicide disguise or an actual suicide. Hey, I was gonna bring that idea up. Well, whatever. Anyone else think the suicide was disguised? Library book? Huh. He died twice? He was already... Wait, he's an upset spirit. How do you die twice? How does a ghost die? We're real sure that the Subconite even really died? That's what I'm asking. Well, he was a ghost given a physical body, right? The Forgotten Children didn't make that apparent, yes. So they're implying that the destruction of the physical body wouldn't kill them? Doors do tend to return after blowing up in those pink fruit things. Well, the Snatcher file says both of them died. It did, right? The Subconite were found in the 4th floor biolab. Time of death was 12:32 p.m. Cause of death is unknown. It just says that they were found and there was a time of death. It doesn't say that they were both dead. It implies that. You're supposed to think that. Okay. It's a little too vague. They were found there is all it says. Doesn't mean they died there or that both died there. That means it'd be possible. Actually, wait. If that's the case, then why isn't he in his stand? That was talked about in one of the rules. Which was it? Okay, it was Rule 7! Rule 7, right? All survivors must be present in the courtroom. But I think that just further proves it. How? You have to look up to notice. How long have those things been hanging there? Aha! One of them is the minion. Oh, that one in the back is moving! It's moving! That's the living minion! He's not dead at all! Oi! Probably since we stepped foot in here. That one over there just move? Snatcher, that's him, isn't it? Want me to get him down for you? Yes or no? Stop evading the question. Yeah, it's him. Why'd you bring him down here? You think I'm letting a servant of mine die just like that? No, his contract is far from expired. You're settled with this deal with the devil stuff as a brick to the faces. Overton doesn't really cut it, but saying he's as subtle as Mustache Girl herself might annoy her. Get him down from there. Not like that! The Alpine Nomad checks on the minion swiftly. Hey, wake up! The minion isn't responding, unless you count random twitches as a response. Come on, you gotta wake up. You're the one that knows what happened. He's out cold. Shaking him and screaming isn't helping. So now we know he was alive the whole time. That makes him the only suspect with no alibi since he was there and didn't die. It wouldn't surprise me if this is just another convoluted scheme from Snatcher. What do you mean? It's been weeks since the last trial happened, and I bet Snatcher was itching to see us die after so long. What if that explosion was his doing to create a murder mystery and the plan failed, so he sent his little lackey to make it work? It's impossible, but I doubt that. No, I know it's not right. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. I can kind of see both sides, but you know what I mean? It's weird, and it's not the only thing that's odd. Immediately, knew when to strike and immediately left because of that. Cooking cat died. The lab being in this condition, despite only one explosion, was there. So many things wrong. I don't know where to start. Immediately left. News action. Great job, but you're not quite done yet. I was in the battle lab when it blew up. Something that might be a clue, but I'm concerned about that. I'm not sure what to focus on. Neither am I. There was something that was there before, wasn't there? Maybe something went missing? Or it's definitely odd considering just how many there were. Think out of place. Pick, I'm drawing a blank. They're all over the walls. You see what I mean? It's weird and it's not, I don't think that's odd. The lab being in that condition despite only one explosion. Was there more than one? Burn marks? Yes, okay. Good job, but you're not quite done yet. The biolab before it blew up. Maybe there's something that might be a clue, but not sure what to focus on. There we go, there we go. Biolab specimens were missing, apparently. Okay, counter! So we're assuming he went there and waited for someone to show up and to get ambushed, despite all the distrust everyone had for him, which would make everyone steer clear of him. Could have been waiting the whole time in the fog of the lab to jump her. Maybe that would leave a few things unanswered. Firstly, those burn marks. There's too many burn marks on the walls and ground to not be odd. 2. Where did all of the lab specimens go? There were a lot of broken tubes in the lab. Don't tell me they all magically vanished. 3. If this was meant to be confusing and convoluted as a part of a scheme, why wasn't the rope not more damaged? Why did the subconite go and wait for the plan to start, or rather the explosion on the 3rd floor in a room with other people instead of the 4th floor to ambush the owl in case it failed? Clearly he didn't do that. Why didn't Thatcher send someone less conspicuous to do this? So, a lot that isn't adding up. It's also the BDA, which we never figured out, could very easily be the unidentified witness. Makes too much sense. Something's not adding up here. Darn. I don't know how to argue against that. You really believe that thing is innocent in all of this? Yes, I think we can. How? If he didn't murder her, then she died from the smoke? It still makes no sense. Fog was made by those flowers from home. The ones that sent the goats into a frenzy. Could have sent her into a frenzy too? Something that might prove otherwise? The computer data! I remember this one! The computer data said that it didn't affect the cats. The computer did say that humans and cats were infected by small amounts of fog, and it definitely didn't affect me and my neighbors, just the goats. Means that's not an option. Other options were there if it wasn't the plant's fault. If it wasn't the fog or any of us, or the minion, who do you vote for? Okay, if the cause of death wasn't one of you, like an accident or suicide, you vote for the person themselves. Is that clear? I don't like the idea of guessing randomly. If we're wrong, we die. Let's not risk it. Not until voting time is forced. How long do we have? A little bit yet, but not much longer. Hey, you were in the biolab the longest. Was there anything in there that might tell us what happened? Why were there burn marks everywhere. Well, I ran out immediately, so I'm not sure. There were a few explosives in the lab. We already discussed that. But any of them could have screwed up the lab after I left. The only explosives were Shroms. You think the Shroms are to blame? Could have been the eggs too. Did you forget? Maybe a chain reaction from the computers? Okay, it's unlikely, but you should throw it out there anyway. What if it was the minions doing? I don't see him doing that unless minions have magical powers. They do not. Whoops, I don't even know what I clicked on. I pressed A again on accident. Okay. Were there more plants there than just alpine flowers and Shroms? Yeah, there were. I assume the fog and explosions got to them since they weren't there when we re-entered the lab. That might be the answer. Huh? How? If they hadn't died, they'd be all over the lab. Someone would have to purposefully kill them after Cooking Cat died if they did. But who'd be crazy enough to fight those things? Those plants are walking nightmares. The reason they died, it might have been the nightmare creatures. If the plant monsters killed each other or were bombs like the Shroms, I doubt that. Flowers? Okay, the reason the plants died. Okay. I was thinking the reason that like Cooking Cat died. Okay. Apples and cherries. The apples, they were exterminated by the apples. The apples don't explode. Also, I'm pretty sure they're cherries. It's a pink fruit that goes boom. They can explode if a dweller possesses them. Yep. The subconite. Oh wait, there's a dweller in there. Snatcher's minion is a dweller with a body. You think he ejected his soul from his body just to kill whatever was inside? Or the traitor people do that? I intend to find out. It's getting a bit confusing. Let me try getting this straight. Try putting every event in order now that we know who did it. Okay, so the owl was in the lab minding his own business when a Shrom thing blew up the lab and screwed everything up. After that, he ran away, warning everyone to keep away from it so he wouldn't die. That's correct. But Cooking Cat went there without knowing because she needed Shrom eggs. What are you doing with those eggs anyway? Not now, Penguin. So, she went to the lab and had gotten killed in a way we haven't identified yet. Try as you might, it's still a mystery. So then the minion went off to the biolab next because of being warned about it by the owl and didn't have anything to do with her death. Evidence doesn't really prove it, but there's so much pointing to his innocence that it's hard to argue against. And he went on a plant killing spree. Before trying to hang himself and somehow not dying because he's undead. Yeah. And then we found the bodies and freaked out. Yeah. Then the killer... isn't actually any of us? That's what it seems like. That sounds about right. But why? We'll have to interrogate him to find out. I'll handle it, okay? You? The goody two-shoes, unless you bring someone who can get more aggressive. I'm not getting my hopes up then. I don't think I'll have to be aggressive. Are you guys ready to vote yet? We're ready. We just have to vote for Cooking Cat since it was an accident, right? Assuming you're correct that it was indeed an accident, yes. Okay. Oh no. Well, looks like you guys solved the case of Cooking Cat's death. You were right, the death was because of the plant monsters and the biolab and nobody was blackened. Went the details since you couldn't figure all of it out. Yes! What happened? It's probably going to be gruesome if he wants to tell you about it. So the Shroom in one of those tubes had become active and blew up, which released all the other plants due to a chain reaction. The one explosion had a ripple effect. I was surprised that the owl hadn't bit the dust, so the lab was full of every hostile plant that wanted to eat you alive you could possibly imagine. Okay. Some of them were 3 or 4 times as tall as me, and that's just the height. They were huge! The fog caught the little cat off guard. That recoil time from getting hit in the face with the smoke, that was all they needed to swarm her. They knocked her out immediately and dragged her into their domain. Have their parents never taught them to not play with their food? What do you mean by play with their food? You know, poke it. Position it fancily, use it as bait, stuff like that. But oh man, was that bone crunch loud! I bet it'd have hurt if she was awake. You don't want that level of detail. You're sick. And what about the subconite? He entered at just the right time to see her final moment of being eaten alive by a walking salad. Ironic how she died by getting eaten, isn't it? What he did? Now that surprised me. Yes, he did. Yes, he did use his spirit to kill every last one of those things. I didn't even have to ask him to do it for me. What did he do after that? At that point, all we know is that I'm not sure why he did it. I thought it was to make things more complicated for you guys. After all, it's more fake evidence, but that doesn't really line up. So, no execution this time. All of the monsters were killed, and there's no Blackened. There's nothing to execute. Alright, everyone, dismissed. And take my minion with you. I'll have to prepare the 5th floor, and I'm not babysitting him while I get the next floor ready. Okay. That was unexpected. I mean, I figured she was killed by the fog or the smoke, but I assumed that, like, someone would be responsible for it, and they would be the Blackened. Okay. I was, like, a third right? You're glad that the execution didn't happen. You partially expected one for reasons. Cookie Guy is dead now. You really hope this courtroom crap ends soon. She was so nice to you, and pretty much everyone here. The only solace is that her death was an accident, and not because one of those jerks tried to pull a murder stunt. Who'd try to hurt someone so sweet? Is solitaire supposed to be fun? I'm not having fun. Ugh. Am I in heck yet? You're awake! Ugh, why? Hey, look at me in the eyes right now. No, just leave me alone. No way am I doing that now. You don't care. Yes, I do care. I care about everyone here. The longer this killing game goes on, the more you sound like a true Danganronpa protagonist. It's because I'm a beacon of hope and emotional stability in a group of misfits. Because that's what I was trying for. That's what I was trying for, so nobody would feel the need to hurt each other. They need a comma right there. I think. I don't know, it's hard to read either way. Yeah, and you have the personality of a bag of hair. Why does everyone keep implying I'm boring? Whatever, that's not the point. Yeah, and the point is you're trying to make friends with everyone while we waste away in here, delaying our inevitable deaths. Is that so wrong? I want to be the emotional support person for everyone. The world would eat you alive. Life is unfair and painful. What did I do to deserve being frozen as a kid and dying? Oh, goodness. That was Vanessa's fault, not yours. She shouldn't have done that. Yeah. And when you finally try doing the right thing, you just get hurt so much more. I tried doing the right thing, and guess what? We're still stuck here. People are getting killed for no good reason. Half of us are slaves to him. So, there really are more traitors? Not that those idiots know. They don't? That stupid kid signed their lives away for some dumb challenge battles for clothes. Clothes! Wait, slow down. I'm not following. Bo-Kid is in league with the Snatcher, even though she might not know it? Huh? It won't matter. Nothing matters. I want to address the core issue that made him try to... But how do I go about wording it? So, about what happened in the biolab. Oh yeah, I guess the trial happened. No, not Cookie Cat. I want to know about... you know, to try and make me feel better because you pitied me for wanting to. I'm not a therapist. This is the best I can do. Are we in the spa? Well, it's the room you've been most frequently, so I thought it might make you feel less sad. I wish I hadn't met you. Why? Why did you have to make me feel like that? If you just stayed away like a normal person, then I would have been content with my life. What do you mean? I've lived in servitude of the Snatcher and Subcon for so long now that I forgot what life was like before Vanessa flipped out and ruined our lives. I got used to it. I thought I could live like that forever. And then you showed up and actually tried hanging out with me. You were literally the only one willing to do so. Now I'm stuck remembering that life used to not completely suck. I used to have friends, hobbies, freedom, a life. Now I'm a puppet with Stockholm Syndrome. I've been dealing with that realization. You abandoned me. You abandoning me. Everyone physically and verbally harassing me. My plans never working. I was being stuck here. My soul not even belonging to me anymore. And then I saw someone die right in front of me, even though another casualty was I intended to prevent. My God, you've been holding in a lot. The two take okay. The two take a long time to sort out the emotional baggage. Do you feel better now? A little. That's good to hear. What do you mean that your plans didn't work out? Right. You think my plan before was killing Hat Kid, don't you? I thought we were talking about the keeping everyone separate thing. Ben looks around to see if anyone's spying on them. Oh, I said something bad, didn't I? Okay, I need to get this out of my system. You good at keeping secrets? Hit me with it. I won't tell anyone. It's the least I can do. Ben whispers in their ear/hoodie thing. Mustache girl, conductor, mafia boss, and grooves. What about them? You just name dropped the traitors, didn't you? The worst part is that they don't know. Again, someone else signed their lives away. I tried to keep them away from the others, but that penguin is glued to grooves, and the other two are so stubborn. If boss gets impatient and forces another trial to happen, he'll force control over them, and that penguin is screwed. The Nomad has been informed of all major plot points Dominion and the players know about at this point. What's going on outside? The traitor is the Trial 3's hidden betrayal. You signed a contract to get your body, right? How'd you make a contract null and void? Why are you asking? What happened to those Death Wish contracts and your contract were burned in a fire? That's a suicide mission! You ought to snag the timepiece from your boss. How's this any different? I guess it isn't, but if I burn my contract, I lose my body and my ability to speak. Dwellers can't talk. On the other hand, freedom. 12 noon, the day after tomorrow. Be here so we can talk. I'll be there. Owl! Wait, conductor, heh. Oh crap, he's a traitor like grooves. I couldn't hear what he whispered. Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. Is he a traitor like grooves? Okay. I'm only going to ask you this one more time and I better hear the right answer. Shouldn't have tried hiding this. You really want to hear this? So you finally admitted you knew. It took you long enough. Can't take these nightmares anymore. I just can't. Takoro pecking into you. We all agreed to never speak of the Manor incident ever again. Ever. The Manor incident? Beaten again. So, we can leave now, right? It's cramped in here. And let's get going already. Not so fast. This thing is still loaded and I don't accept defeat that easily. She must be... Must be what? Made of iron. Got to find a better way of talking to Timmy. Oh, elevator door open. Greetings, fellow users of the Metro. The heck is a car agent doing here? There's no delicate way of putting this. You, ma'am, are the owner of the Totally Not Sketchy jewelry store, correct? If you're considering shooting me down, don't. You wouldn't want some of your totally not sketchy deeds being leaked to the authorities, right? I'm blackmailing you, so shut up and put it on the bazooka. That felt so good. I haven't been able to take down crime in so long. How about we make an arrangement? I don't like where this is going. Instead of you trying to kill us, instead, you try to help us. You want to blackmail me into helping you? Have you not noticed the strange rainbow colors and waviness yet? Something is happening that needs to be fixed. Continuing with the cat crime, it would be pretty hard if the world gets completely messed up. Suppose I don't have a choice anyway. Excellent. Wow, that was pretty impressive. What about him, though? I'm not so sure we'd be able to convince him to help us. Something to convince him to help. Maybe the island he lived on before Mafia Town? I haven't been there in so long. I sometimes miss it. The world is slowly being destroyed, so maybe if he wants both places to not be all messed up forever, he should help you. Oh my god, why do you have to be right? It actually worked? Alright, kid with the hat. I don't like this, but you have a very valid point. I want to settle this mafia style one more time before it was done. He's still gonna lose. He's still gonna lose, but sure, as long as we get this done. Rift token! Rift token, get your rift tokens! My rift tokens are too powerful for you. Hello, Roomby. Let's get the timepiece and into the level, yes! This is the last one that is out so far, but there are going to be more trials. The story isn't over yet! So make sure you're still here for the next trials as they come out!